And we have a go for auto sequence start. Discovery's onboard computers have primary control of all the vehicle's critical functions. Start, 2, 1, boost ignition, and liftoff of the Space Shuttle Discovery.
Welcome to the Launch Pad. I'm your host, Harry Washington. And those of you joining us for the first time, the show is sponsored by Pursuing a Dream Corporation. Pursuing a Dream Corporation is a nonprofit organization that encourages students to pursue degrees and careers in the areas of science, technology, engineering, and math. And today's show is focused on mentoring. And our first guest today is Moore with Wide Angle Youth Media. Moore, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's wonderful to be here.
Now, explain the mission of Wide Angle Youth Media.
So Wide Angle Youth Media is a Baltimore-based nonprofit that focuses on using media education to enable young people in the city to tell their stories and become engaged in their communities. So we offer a variety of different kinds of programs. We have after-school programs for middle schoolers and high schoolers. We partner with the Enoch Pratt Free Library System during the summers to host photography workshops. We have 1-day and 2-day photography workshops in schools throughout the city that we do during the school year. And through all of these different programs, we're really focusing on the relationships that our staff are building with students in the classrooms. And then the other component is once students have created these really powerful and personal stories, finding different ways to share them with a really diverse audience. So locally, we showcase their work throughout the city. We also send their videos to film festivals, both nationally and internationally.
And that's, in a sense, the importance of your work.
Yes, yes. So for us, it's really about helping young people to get the tools to cultivate their voice and find the ways to express their stories, and then make sure that there are platforms for them to share their stories as much as possible.
Now, provide with our audience members your background, your educational background.
So I sort of had like a winding path to get where I am today.
Okay.
When I was in college, I studied art and art history with a focus in painting and photography. And at that time, I also and am still very interested in other cultures. So after I graduated, I lived in Vietnam for a year teaching English.
Wow.
And the sort of poverty and social inequities I saw there were just on a level I hadn't witnessed here. And so I decided when I came back, I really wanted to find a way to fuse my interests in the arts with addressing social inequities in this country.
Okay.
So I applied to MICA's Maryland Institute College of Arts Community Arts program, got my master's, did 2 years of AmeriCorps, and continued working with the same organization that had hosted me, which is Baltimore City Community College's Refugee Youth Project. So there I was using the arts, assisting young people coming into the city, young refugees in their integration, and started learning more about and thinking more about different cultures and working with them. So after that, I spent some more time abroad in India doing an artist residency and using my own photography to sort of document socially what I was seeing there. So when I came back, I started working with Wide Angle, teaching photography and portraiture in a lot of different schools through our youth photography traveling exhibition program, and then have since transitioned into our program manager role.
Excellent. What have you been mentored yourself?
I have not gone through a program as structured as something like Big Brothers, Big Sisters, but I was very fortunate growing up to be involved in extracurricular activities where there were very positive adult role models who were really invested in the young people they were working with. So I played soccer and had just a tremendous coach who really built mentoring into his coaching style.
Excellent.
And I think that's sort of what we try and replicate in our high school wide angle classrooms, is sort of a really strong one-on-one relationship between our staff and our students, and just the power of having an adult really invested in you to help you with what you're currently working on. So the projects that they're working on and those technical skills, but then also a lot of things that translate into broader life goals.
Now, describe the population that Wide Angle services.
So Wide Angle was founded to provide media-based resources specific to different community needs. And so we try and really focus on especially through our middle school programs, working in communities that are under-resourced.
Okay.
So a lot of our students are African American, but we also work in parts of the city with a large Latino population.
Okay.
We have a few students, certainly not, they're certainly the minority of our students, not the majority, but who've experienced homelessness.
Wow.
Excuse me.
Sure.
But then we also have some students who go to like public charter schools or who may be on scholarship to private schools.
Okay.
So we actually have a diversity of students who we're able to reach. And I think that that really strengthens our classrooms and the relationships that are being built within our classrooms.
Now, just keeping with the population, what are some of the obstacles that you face with working with the different groups that you work with?
Well, I think that maybe not necessarily a challenge, but just something intrinsic to the work that we do is just making sure that whatever needs the community has, so in our middle school programs, it's needs that the students are identifying that they really want to be highlighting through a specific story.
Okay.
In our high school video program,
Okay.
students really get to make individualized stories about issues that they're passionate about.
Oh, wow.
But it's really just, I think, about making sure that our staff are well equipped and able to assist the students, whichever group they're working with, regardless of which direction they want to go in order to tell their story. Does that make sense?
Oh, it makes a lot of sense because you allow them to be able to set their own path. In a sense.
And then we also, in addition to our high school video program, we also have our attendance and design team, and they do graphic design with a social focus.
Okay.
So we've actually been partnering with Baltimore City Public Schools for the past year and a half to address issues of school attendance and school suspension rates and policies around suspension.
Okay.
So that's something that I think resonates with a lot of students, and a lot of students are impacted by that. And so we're trying to find ways to teach our young people how they can be creating almost advocacy tools or tools that are really changing mentalities around these bigger issues.
Through media. In a sense.
Through media.
But here's another question in terms of just looking at the population. In terms of the grades, the type of grades that students need to have to be in this program, is there a requirement or not?
There is a requirement, so it depends on which program.
Okay.
So our high school students turn in their report cards at the end of each semester to our staff. And that's because we want to make sure that they're keeping their grades up. And by and large, they're doing very well in school. And so we have a 100% graduation rate amongst our high schoolers. But they also are getting either service learning hours or a paid stipend per day that they're there. And so we want to make sure that they're prioritizing their schoolwork and taking care of their academic needs before doing sort of the next step.
Okay. And before I go on to the program, just again, statement of the population. In terms of these students, how many of them have been successful? Just looking at success rates. What have been the success rates of the program?
I mean, so as I said, we have a 100% graduation rate.
Okay.
And then a lot of our students go on to a variety of fields. So we have one student who graduated last semester who's now studying engineering in Alaska.
Excellent.
We have one of our current assistant teachers actually came through our middle school and high school programs. She's now getting her degree in education at Towson and teaching with us. So she's been able to come back as sort of, again, a great mentor and role model for our students. We have students just doing a ton of different stuff. Some students are doing very media-related work in different cities throughout the country. Others have gone off, as I said, like doing something like engineering or another field.
And let's start with the programs. What type of programs does that Youth Wide Media offer? I'm sorry, Wide Angle Youth Media offer?
So we have our middle school programs, which is our Baltimore Speaks Out program, and that is at 3 different sites throughout the city, and that's primarily video. And then we have the 2 high school programs I mentioned, the Mentoring Video Project and the Attendance and Design Team. They both are meeting at our office, and we have sort of a media lab for them there. And they're doing more intensive, more sophisticated work because it's sort of, the next level. Excuse me. And then we also have our Youth Traveling Photography Exhibition program. And so that is a photography program that, again, works with schools and libraries throughout the city. and that's focused on photography.
Excellent. Now, what would you say is one of the key factors that makes you guys successful?
I think that, like, excitement, you know, the skill sets that we're able to teach and the resources we're able to give students access to are just really exciting, and they are things that, you know, a lot of students, I think probably throughout the country still, aren't able to have access to. I know I certainly didn't get to learn any of this awesome stuff when I was in middle school and high school. And I think I'd be you know, I'm jealous of them that they have this opportunity. So I just think the sort of the unique opportunity is something students really understand. And then again, the emphasis on youth voice. You know, they're deciding if they want to make like the middle school program that I taught with in the fall. They're deciding if they want to make a narrative film, a documentary film. They're choosing the topic that they want to discuss. They're deciding if they want to be actors, if they want to be producers, if they want to be camera people. So the emphasis that we have on really making sure that it's as student-owned as possible in terms of process and product is something that I think is very unique and that they really appreciate.
And they work in conjunction with each other as well as getting guidance from some experts.
So we definitely have a strong emphasis on collaboration throughout all of our programs.
Excellent.
So almost all of them, the students are working together to create a final project. Even the photography classes, excuse me, the students are sharing cameras. They're working through a very collaborative process of deciding what they want their portraits of each other and of themselves to look like. Our video program for the high schoolers, the students are, even in the fall when they're making their own individual pieces, they're still getting constant feedback from each other. So they're practicing critique, they're practicing public speaking and presentation of their ideas.
And also peer support, in a sense.
And peer support, yeah, all of those things.
Excellent.
There's a lot of, you know, trust that goes into that process.
Right. Now, are there any current or new initiatives that you guys are working on?
Yes, we have. We're really lucky, I think. I came to Wide Angle at a wonderful time when we have been able to expand in terms of staff, but also in terms of our space. So right now, our office is actually currently under renovation. But when the renovation is complete, we will have a new media lab for our students, an almost almost professional grade audio recording area, and then this will be able to take on more students within our classrooms. They'll be able to work on more sophisticated machines. And then we also have, in addition to all of the programs I've mentioned, we recently started a youth apprenticeship program, which is called Wide Angle Productions. So they're actually like a fee-for-service, hireable production company. And our students, it's been about a year, I think, since it's really been underway, but we're able to take in youth apprentices for, I think, a year long. And they work with clients. So we've worked with CSX. We are working with the Casey Foundation right now on a national initiative. So we're able to send those students to California to film and to other sites around the country. So they're really gaining a lot of workforce skills. They're getting paid. And so this is really helping them take what they've learned in the high school programs to that next level. And that's really preparing them for college or for a job directly, you know, in production.
Excellent. We'd like to thank Maura for her time. We'll be back. Welcome to the Lunch Hour. I'm your host, Harry Washington. And again, the focus of this segment is mentoring. And if those of you that don't know, this month is National Mentoring Month. Our guest today is Miss Ebony Lewis of Miss Believe. Ebony, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for coming. Now, give us an idea. What's the mission of Miss Believe?
Miss Believe mission is to provide interactive programs that all focus on teaching girls the importance of having high self-esteem as well as goal-setting behaviors. So we provide mentoring programs for adolescent girls between the ages of 10 and 18. And our main mission is to mentor and empower girls.
Now, how do parents get their student or their child enrolled in your program?
Well, currently we only have a contract with the Department of Human Services, Parent Adolescent Support Services in DC. So we're only able to provide services to those youth who are referred through that program, only because we are very limited with resources and our volunteer mentors. So we are kind of limited in how we just take our girls as far as our program. So we're currently just doing that contract through DHS.
Okay. Now, elaborate on what type of services do you offer for students?
So we're carrying out our mission by providing 3 core programs. One program is called the Striving and Succeeding Outreach Program, and that's a 6-week program that provides, again, interactive activities that all focus on self-esteem, building self-esteem, as well as goal-setting behaviors. So we do various activities like vision boards. We have our own version of Jeopardy. We have the mentees write letters to their future selves. So we do that, and we also incorporate discussions on different things that are current in the media and in the news. Our second program is called the Center of Attention Program, and that's our group mentoring program. So the group would meet once a month, and we would do different activities and outings within the DC community. So in the past, we've done different museums, the Crime and Punishment Museum, and we do fun stuff too. We've gone rock climbing, we go out to eat. So we do different things that incorporate into, you know, just giving the girls positive guidance that they might not have in their own homes. And then our last program is called Believe University, and that's more of a curriculum intense program where the girls will meet on a set Saturday, and it's kind of like a Saturday school where that particular Saturday we'll have a set discussion, and at the end of the program, all of the different topics throughout the Saturdays will pretty much incorporate into the mentees' overall development.
Now, what type of discussions do the mentors typically engage with the mentees?
Primarily home issues that the girls may be having. A lot of the girls, you know, at that age, they're rebelling against their parents. They don't really understand the house rules and stuff of that nature. So they vent. They pretty much serve as a vent to their mentees. They give them guidance on how to actively or productively deal with certain situations in school or at home with siblings, just everyday stuff.
What made your organization target this population in particular?
Well, primarily me being a female, I know the struggles with, you know, obstacles in school and relationships with my mom in the past. I benefited from a mentor when I was 12, and she's actually still my mentor. She's on our board of directors. She exposed me to so many positive different things outside of my community. So just having my own experience pretty much made me target the audience that we have now.
Now, in your opinion, what are some of the barriers that girls face versus boys?
So many. Teenage pregnancy is one. Low self-esteem, body imaging issues, peer pressures. That can go both ways, boys and girls, but females tend to be pressured more. Lack of father figures. We tend to compete against each other. I don't know why, but that's a barrier that girls do more than boys. And social media is one of the biggest barriers, I feel like, that negatively impact girls more than boys.
Well, how so?
Because for some reason, we seek attention. And when we go on social media and we post negative images, we're seeking them from boys. You rarely see boys posting stuff for attention for girls. They more so do things for their peers. We do things for their attention. So I feel like it's more negatively impacting girls than it is males. And then look at reality shows, which are, I hate them, but for lack of better words, but it's mainly females acting a fool.
I got you.
It's not, I mean, there's some dudes on there that are, you know, just being ignorant, but for the most part, it's a lot of females fighting, cursing, just being not ladylike. And young girls see that and they think this is what life is, and it's not. So
how does it, I understand it makes your job even more difficult, but how do you redirect them from that? Because that is their world. Social media, reality shows, how do you redirect them?
I tell them every day, you know that's not real. You know some of that is scripted. You know that is, I tell them, I'm just straight up with them. I tell them that it's not real. Do you ever see, when you go out, do you see that stuff?
Okay.
When you're out and about, like, you don't see that stuff.
Okay.
So I try to incorporate in their minds that reality TV is not real.
Okay.
What you see in front of you when we mentor you, this is real. I also try to make them read books about different successful women like
Excellent.
Oprah. I've sat down and read the Michelle Obama autobiography with girls.
Excellent.
I could probably recite it to you right now. I've read it so many times. So I just kind of try to expose them to other women who are doing what they need to be doing in
Excellent.
a more positive example rather than the social media.
How much time, well, let me ask you this. Your mentors are all female?
Yes,
Okay.
all female.
How much time do they get to spend with the students?
Well, we meet on a monthly basis in one of our programs, which is the Center of Attention Mentoring Program. We
Okay.
meet monthly, but they're required to contact their mentees at least once a week.
Okay.
And that contact can be a text message, phone call, email.
Okay.
So on average, they probably spend an hour a week. And then when we do our monthly activities, that's probably 4 hours.
Excellent.
So,
What are some of the milestones that your organization has faced, or even accomplishments?
well, last year the DHS contract was a big milestone because that was our first contract, our
Okay.
first source of concrete income and
Right.
not donations and
Right.
contributions. So that was a big milestone for us, and we're hoping that we can continue with that contract. We also were approved for the CFC campaign.
Excellent.
So we were able to get donations from government employees and federal employees through the Capital Federal campaign.
Right.
And in February, I'll be receiving the Pioneer Award, which
Okay.
is presented by Amtrak and the Washington Wizards.
Excellent.
So at the Wizards game on February 2nd, I'll be presented with the award. They pretty much recognize professionals in the community that are doing positive things.
Excellent.
So I'm excited about that, and that's one
I'm
of
sure.
our accomplishments.
How does it feel now looking back on, just your success as a professional and now giving back? How does it feel?
It feels great, and it's still kind of hard to swallow. It's like, I can't believe we've come this far as an organization, just starting it with me and my little sister at the time, just seeing all of those milestones and different things happen. It's just like, I can't believe that I'm doing this. This is my dream. I want to one day be a full-time executive director and not have it as my side volunteer.
Right.
So to see us progressively on that track and making those milestones and getting there, it's a great feeling.
Excellent, excellent. Are there any current initiatives or even any new activities that your organization is planning?
Well, we're going to be participating in, I believe it's called Pamper Me Pretty. It's an activity at Howard University.
Okay.
They're going to be presenting a live panel discussion on beauty, and they're going to have a dermatologist, a makeup artist, and a fashion expert, I believe, talking on beauty. And then the second half, they're going to be doing like manicures and pedicures, and donations will be given to Miss Believe.
Okay.
So we're excited about that. And we're also looking for new board members to actively advocate for the organization. So we'll just be doing different campaigns in that regard.
Any final words you have, Ebony?
I don't know. I'm excited about the future.
Okay.
I encourage people who see this segment to really like reach out to young girls,
Right.
because I know a lot of people look at the young girls and are like shaking their head. I can't believe she got that on. I can't believe she's doing this. Instead of doing that, go to missbelieve.org and look at our programs and become a volunteer mentor.
Right.
Because I always believe if you're not a part of the solution, you're a part of the problem.
Yeah, very
So
true.
give back, help, and not pass judgment on young girls when you see them in the street.
Excellent words. We'd like to thank all of our guests for joining us today. And remember, just like Ms. Lewis said, that go out and mentor someone. If you see something that needs to change, be a part of the problem, not the solution. Be part of the solution, rather than the problem. Thanks for joining us.